So this class is on how to communicate with clients. This is going to be a quick class because there's just a few things that I've noticed with public adjusters that can be improved upon. This doesn't mean that every public adjuster I've worked with has had these issues, but there are some things that are foundational to the success of working with clients. So why do you want to improve your communication skills? Well, you'll be able to better demonstrate your value to your clients, and the more value equals more rates and more referrals. So why not make communication a essential thing, essential core skill that you'd want to improve? And then communicate EOW. That's a acronym that I'd like everyone to keep in mind. I mean, not just for public adjusters, but anybody who's working with clients. EOW means early, often, and well. So communicate early, communicate often, and communicate well. Just remember that. And then ask your clients, like, what are your communication preferences? I mean, most public adjusters never ask for that. So how often would they like to communicate? What methods, email, phone, or in person? And the reason why I say ask them is because you can't assume that your clients like communication the same way you do. My public adjuster really liked the phone, and I'm not a phone person. I like email. I like everything documented via email. So especially if my wife is at work and I'm at work and he calls me and I need to relay information to her, like if everything was email, I just forward it off to my wife and say, here, this just to let you know, this is the latest correspondence, or he would CC us both on an email. So, and then the other thing, in regards to like the method of communication, but how often? I mean, some people don't mind being bothered 15 times a day because they know that you're working with them and for them. And some people just say, you know what, I'm super busy. Just give me a wrap up at the end of the day. So that asking them up front when you first meet them shows a sign of respect, meaning like, hey, how would you like to communicate and how often? I had a client for many years who just liked to communicate through WhatsApp. So it's like a Skype messaging system, and it was really annoying to me. But that's the only way. He wouldn't respond to my emails. He wouldn't respond to calls. But he was the boss. I was his consultant, so I had to kind of adhere to that. But at the same time, if you have a client that doesn't like the method of communication that you provide, you are reducing your value and less likely to get a referral from them. And a lot of public adjusters have asked me, Mike, do you text? Probably one of the most common questions I get. And I would suggest no. I don't text with my clients. And no matter how much I like you, I probably won't text with you. It's just not something I do. Texting there's various reasons why I don't text. And here's some of the reasons. First of all, it's hard to flag correspondence for follow-up. Texting wasn't designed for business messages. A lot of times 99% of the time, if you call me or try to talk to me unscheduled, I'm doing something. I'm rarely, if ever, just sitting around doing nothing. So I would almost always flag an email for follow-up, and texting doesn't allow for that. And I'll forget about you in 10 seconds if I don't respond to you right away. So it's hard to flag correspondence or follow-up. It's also hard to reference back for communication. So if have a long text thread, I have to like scroll through endlessly and try to figure out, what am I looking for here? Oh, okay. It was before he said this. And then I'd scroll back up. I mean, it's a terrible to try to find reference points for texting. And it's hard to organize information. I mean, it's all in one thread. There's no folders. There's no file organization or anything. It's just one messy thread of discussion. And then the worst part about all of this in terms of texting is clients expect a quick response. If you get your client in a mode of thinking that, hey, I'll just text him and I'll get a quick response, that's a bad route to go on. You're working with these clients sometimes for a year or more, and you don't want to be a slave to them every time you hear your phone ding at any hour of the day or night, okay? So set a precedence early that you would strongly prefer that no texting occurs. And same with Facebook Messenger and Skype. I've seen public adjusters use that as well. Not recommended for those same reasons I mentioned above, okay? So I hope this helps you set some standards for communication with your clients. Good luck.